All right, today we're reacting to the Darryl Buffy concept for Brawl Stars. So I just saw this on the Brawl Stars competitive subreddit the other day, and I figured this would be good. This would be good to look at. It really it outlines a lot of things, not just with the Darryl Buffy for future, but like Buffy's in general. It provides some very useful information. So, first slide, standard. Well, this is primarily a Buffy concept. This is also what I personally think the ideal Buffy line slash kit rework should look like for most brawlers. Kit reworks can be strong on release, but should be able to be balanced without changing the base concept. Okay, so like I'm thinking that sort of means like it's fine if they're a bit broken on release, but they have to be able to be balanced without rework. So like just being able to like change damage or like effect time to be able to balance it properly. So that you don't have to rework it every time you need to balance it. I agree with that. That is a very good point. Um, Buffy should always raise the skill ceiling of the role in some capacity. Absolutely. Um, there's there's no reason to just make Brawl Stars like less skillful because otherwise then you lose longer term players and such. Even while more people might flock to the game, after a bit it will definitely start tying it. So that's a really good point. I like that. Um, while some gadget star powers may not have too much to offer in terms of depth, they should at least enhance the brawler's kit in some shape or form. Absolutely. Um, so like usually, so like they actually did this for the M's Buffies as well. So normally they just reworked the push gadget, um, but like that. So because it doesn't have much to offer in terms of depth, it should at least enhance the brawler's kit in some shape or form. So because M's biggest weakness was always assassin brawlers hopping on top of her. Both her push gadget and her hypercharge are built to deal with that. So those are both enhancing her kit. Um, so hypercharged Buffy shouldn't have the same impact as hypercharged supers. Um, and shouldn't last 7 seconds. I agree. They shouldn't last 7 seconds. That is about extremely long. And basically once you have your hypercharge, you're just unbeatable because 7 seconds is insane. Um, that's a lot of time to create pressure or to advance. Is that there's still hypercharges that need some fine tuning. Having an overpowered or even decent hypercharge super combined with an overpowered Buffy effect sounds awful. And it is awful in practice because just giving a brawler like a good hypercharge and then just like stacking on top of that just makes them too overpowered and like all right now in the meta all of the hypercharge brawlers are basically in the meta except Colt and Shelly who are A tier currently, but A tier is still like in the meta. Okay, so Buffy concept gadget rework. So a rework of gadget reworks. Okay, most people agree that forcefully making gadgets aimable was a bad change. Yes, I agree with that. It is very annoying. So small rework is going to occur for the following gadgets. All of those are the new aimable gadgets. Um, when the gadget button is pressed instead of aimed, these gadgets will instead activate on the brawler's next attack. Yes. Oh, yes, absolutely. I agree with that 100%. Because that's how like most of these work. Not speed loader. Speed loader didn't work like that, but silver bullet, irresistible attraction, and acid spray, I believe, all actually used to have, and that was perfect. That works very well. Um, I do really like that. Um, just because it's hard to explain why, but just it really helps like the playstyle. Because I find now with the aimable gadgets, it's a lot of the time it feels hard to play the gadget, like to actually use it without just accidentally pressing the attack button. This is important to mention because reworked tar barrel shares the same properties as these gadgets, but this should also be the general norm for gadgets similar to these. Yes, okay. Bobbing pin cushion was not included. Since the boat could go with all the other gadgets as well. I agree with that. Okay, rework buffs for Darryl because this is a Darryl Buffy post. Darryl fires a shot of tar that deals 1920 damage and slows enemies more. That seems like a lot of damage to me. I could range 7 tiles is insane. Um, that feels very broken to me. 19, almost 2,000 damage seems like a lot. I would 100% just nerf that. I would definitely nerf that a lot. If maybe even take it away because he doesn't need that extra damage. Because if you can get within range of Daryl, like he has a good amount of damage output. So I feel like he doesn't need that. Recoiling rotator. So overall, good gadget for work, but I would definitely nerf it severely. Um, recoiling rotator now shoots 100% faster and has a 10% faster projectile speed. 10% faster projectile speed seems it seems unnecessary because of this, but I could be wrong. I don't play Daryl much, so I'm not too knowledgeable on that. But I could that just seems like it seems like a buff more than a rear. Yeah, that's why it's rear slash buffs. Okay. Aiming the gadget will cause it to start the attack in a specified direction. I like that. That gives you a bit more control. I do like that very much. Barrel roll deals 15% more damage and travels 30% faster. Instead of rolling reload, it's now overboard. I like it. It feels a bit broken, but at the same time, also doesn't seem too broken. Oh, okay. That's a very interesting thought for assassin build. That does make a lot of sense. I like this. I like this rework overall. Seems a bit broken, but I feel like I would have to play it to see. Buffy concept increases range by 40%, slightly increases projectile speed. Increasing the range to 9 tiles is wild. That feels useless. That feels really useless because I mean, unless you did it with a super, but like, that doesn't seem like slightly increases projectile. I feel like if you just did slightly increases projectile speed on its own, that would be fine. But increases the range by 40% feels like that's a that feels like a very long. Okay, looking back on the 7 tiles was about 9 tiles is kind of really long. Um, I wouldn't do that. I would just do increases projectile speed by more than slightly. Recoiling rotator shoots 33% more shells that each increase movement speed by 10% for 1.5 seconds. They each increase movement speed? What does that mean? Each hit increases movement speed for 1 second. I could I could see it, but I just don't know what it'd ever take. It doesn't feel it doesn't feel impactful unless you played that in heist for more damage on the heist safe because it shoots more shells. Other than that, doesn't seem super impactful, but I mean, it is an interesting concept. Steel hoops increases shield duration by 1.5 seconds when defeating enemies while shields active. My question is why? More kills, longer shield. The reason I didn't do any sort of buffs because I still think that is a pretty good star power, but buffing on top of getting a Buffy sounds like overkill. Worry about that kit plus Darryl comps may take a resurgence. Even if it did, then you could just nerf its duration by 0.5 seconds. Potential is pretty high, but take a good point max out. Okay, it doesn't seem super impactful just because, I mean, increasing the shield duration by a second or 1.5 seconds doesn't feel like it's gonna do much when you already killed them. I don't like that. Um, yeah. Overboard. Hitting a wall while rolling increases super duration by 50%. So you roll increases super duration? Wait, what was the rework for this one? Oh, it's just what? What does it mean? So he just rolls farther? Okay, I do like that. I like that. It's cool. It's interesting. Changes the playstyle a bit. And just I like how it adds something new instead of just buffing. So I like that. I like it. Main attack spread is reduced by 25%. Actually, I kind of like that because up close it'd be a lot easier to hit all the shots when they're within this range rather than hitting all the shots. So you'd always hit all the shots when you're in this range. Right here, you'd probably miss some. Right here, you'd miss 50%. But this like extends the range that you'd hit all the shots. So I do like that. I like it. It's a cool concept. Seems unique and just seems fun to play. The concept, Darryl now has three Buffies that enhance his gameplay and make him more versatile, while also not making him completely overpowered even with all three equipped. In other words, it updates his kit, making it much more useful in the current version of all. I agree with that. I like it. I like it overall. Um, yeah, so while this is what I personally think that standard for Buffies should be like, I also think that Colt's kit rework and Buffies are also very well designed. I noticed that too. I really did like how they made him like have a more unique playstyle with those. And I liked both of his star power Buffies really amazed me. They were really cool. They're fun to play. Um, Found it interesting that they basically gave Piper's hits for more damage when they're further attack to his regular attacks. That seems a bit weird on it, but I have no problem with it. I have no quarrel. Um, so the really good, really cool post, very well made, very well thought out. 10 out of 10 on like honestly, I really love this post. It's very unique. He did a really good job on this. So amazing. Thanks for sticking around. Subscribe.